Welcome to our first ever podcast here live at NRF. I'm Nick Palmer. I'm the Director of Channel Partnerships at UPS Capital. I'm happy to introduce our guest today. His name's Kyle Ashby. Kyle, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Now, Kyle, I know you as Kyle Blobfish.
And you should.
Yes. And Kyle, you are the lead coffer at Pirate Ship.
Yeah.
Most of our listeners, I would think, do not know what a lead coffer is.
Neither do I.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you to explain what it is, but we could just move on.
No, it's fine. So I'm the manager of specialty teams.
Yep.
I work in CX. So our escalation team, our insurance team, they needed a manager. And so basically any special project gets sort of assigned to me. And then when we started working on the InsureShield partnership, they asked if I wanted to be the project coordinator. And so I've been the project coordinator for that project for the last 6 months or so, and I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I should have started the podcast off by saying ahoy.
Oh, you're right.
For the listeners who don't know, Pirate Ship has an unbelievable culture. Very, very heavy dose of pirate jargon, which has been fun. Our team has adopted such as well since we started the partnership.
It's infectious.
It really is. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. And you know, we mentioned that you're the lead coffer.
Yeah.
If you could, can you just give us a quick overview of some of your unique job role names at the company?
So supervisors, our frontline supervisors are bosuns. Bosuns on the ship are sort of the people making sure that everyone's doing their job. And then we have the lead bosuns, which, as you can imagine, are so much responsibility.
Yeah.
And then we have the captains. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
That
the
is.
people that run the ship. And then, our marketing roles are called seafarers, I think. So we've grown a lot, and
Yes.
I'm really trying to stay in my lane. But the jargon is in my contract. If I don't use it at least a couple times per day, it's going to be a difficult conversation between me and my boss.
I can understand why.
Yeah.
I can understand why. Well, we'll jump right into it. So we were excited to start a partnership with you last year. We're ramping up into the new year. We're running pretty hot.
Yeah.
The sails are set. We're cruising through the seas at this point. I'm a little disappointed, though. We're on the edge of the Hudson River here, and I looked out this morning to see if you rolled up in the pirate ship, but there was nothing out there. I was hopeful.
So no Dramamine. So I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. I flew, sky pirates are a thing in literature.
Hey.
And I want to represent all pirates in my time here.
I like it.
But yeah, no Dramamine means no ocean.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. So we talked a little bit briefly about Pirate Ship, but I'd love for you to give us an overview of what Pirate Ship is, who you serve, and what specifically do you bring to these merchants that you serve?
Yeah, I mean, very simply, if you are a small business shipper that doesn't wake up excited about buying a label and putting it on a package, we are the perfect platform for you because you can make a free account with no hidden fees, anything like that, and you can make a label in 2 minutes to get where it needs to go. It really is as simple as that. We are trying to be a free-to-use service that has cheap labels that are easy to buy so that you can get your packages out the door so your customers get them as fast as possible. That's it.
Understand. And your customers, generally speaking, from your vantage point, I mean, how often do they experience loss?
Loss? I mean...
or damage?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the time of year. We definitely have cycles of it, but it really depends on what people are shipping. High-value items, there are very smart people that know what kind of packages are moving and where they need to go. And so people can experience loss when they're shipping laptops and things like that, which are covered through InsureShield. But at the same time, there are people who experience tons of volume and they just factor in loss into their business model. And so they're habitual buyers of insurance because it's just part of their loss offset to take advantage of those insurance opportunities.
No, it makes sense. I mean, and from our side, we see typically about 75% of merchants who've experienced loss have severe retention problems. Are you seeing the same on your end?
We want to make sure that your customers feel empowered and know what to do. But in reality, the person buying the label is our customer. We're just trying to make sure they have the best relationship with their customers possible, which is why our customers are the ones that file the insurance claims, not their end user.
Absolutely. As we started the conversation and you started to learn about InsureShield, from your company's perspective, what was exciting, important, intriguing to you about the InsureShield offering compared to others in the market?
I mean, from my experience, the thing that got me excited is you were willing to adapt.
Yeah.
InsureShield was willing to adapt. When we said, hey, we have customers that want this, you're like, oh, okay, we can do that. Or we can't do that right now, but we could do it later. And it was like an excited conversation. Other insurance projects we looked at were like, well, here's the platform, take it or leave it. And that's not what we wanted for our customers. We're trying to adapt to an ever-changing market, which is how small businesses ship. And so when we had a partner that was like, well, no, we're willing to adapt the product for what your customers need, that got us very excited about this partnership.
No, very cool. There's a handful of platforms, right, that offer quick shipping rates, right? And you guys have, like I said, taken customer experience really to heart, and you do it really well. What would you say is kind of like the flagship focal point of you on your day-to-day interactions? Like, what are you looking to accomplish when your team speaks with customers?
When we do speak to customers, it's about getting resolution as fast as possible. It's not about, what's our liability here? Is there a way, can we shirk our responsibility in some way or like minimize the impact? When in reality, it's like, is this person hurting? Like, has their business been impacted? If the answer is yes, my job and my team's job is to make it as reduce the friction as much as possible and get them to the next step of what they need, which is usually a financial resolution or just understanding what happened to their package so they can make the best informed choice about how to move forward and talk to their customers, because it's the limbo that really frustrates people in shipping. They see the shipping updates on platforms and it says enough that they could sort of kind of understand what their package is, but they don't understand the context. Like, why is it stuck? Why did it reroute to California? Why is it stuck in customs? Those are the questions that we try to answer as quickly as possible and give a large answer to that provides a lot of information so that they can be like, oh, I understand shipping a little bit more. This is going to be so much better the next time I have to do this as I grow my business.
Makes perfect sense. And for the listeners, what would you say is like the typical volume of like your upper tier of your merchants? Like, are we talking small SMBs? Are we talking mid SMBs? I mean, from your vantage point.
Yeah, so we have micro shippers. Micro shippers are super concerned about cost more than anything, and they're shipping 5 to 10 packages a month, maybe. And then the heart of our business is medium shippers, people who are shipping 20 to 50 packages a month, and they really care about those packages getting where they're supposed to be when they say they're going to. So delivery estimates are super important to us. We try to put that in the product as much as possible and work with our partners to really understand what's realistic when we offer a service through them. And so when we think about who we're serving small businesses, people who had an Etsy shop during COVID because they needed to make ends meet. Their job changed, and they're like, well, I have this idea, and I'm going to make the decals that nurses wear for their key cards. We had a customer that just started making sort of bespoke ones, custom ones, and it took off for her. And all of a sudden, she's like, oh, I'm a big Etsy seller. I don't know how to do that. Like, what's the best way to reduce my costs so I can get the product out the door? And we helped them find the best shipping option, which allowed them to offer the product at a different price point, which increased their sales. So those are the types of shippers that we love to talk to, are people who are taking their small business to the next level, or their great idea is taking off, but they want to keep it theirs. They don't want to sort of turn it into a brand and start franchising it. They're really just trying to make it either a side income or a stable income for them that they can rely on.
No, that's great. And so from Pirate Ship's perspective, right? Rate and the cost of shipping, right, only goes so far. Right. How do you keep it fresh? How do you bring new features, new value to the platform, and what do you kind of have on tap for the new year?
So we're not trying to make new features all the time. We're trying to have the best product possible when it comes to customer service, and the way to purchase a label remains as easy and intuitive as possible. So rates are ever changing. We like to explain why those rates changed, and then we like to make it highly visual on the website. We don't try to change too much in terms, there's not going to be tons of bells and whistles on our website by design, because that's what gets people frustrated rather than curious. And we want people to come on the website, say, oh, that's what I need to buy. Or I could try this other option, and it's really easy to toggle between the two, and I get to make a very quick choice. People don't want to spend hours on our website. And then when we talk about 2025, it's about making our customer service as friendly as possible. It's about human interaction. If our pirates need to talk with somebody about like how their business has been doing and understand that they lost 3 packages in a row and it's impacting their bottom line, we're going to redirect our energy to like hearing them and appreciating what they're going through, and try to help them make the best possible choice for their shipping, and understand if it would be appropriate to add insurance, or what they can tell the customers to reassure them that, yes, this package is lost, but a new one is coming your way. So we really try to provide a lot of emotional space, because shipping can be really frustrating for small businesses. And in particular, no one is offering expertise. Like there are no shipping classes and things like that. So we really just want to try to bridge the educational gap as well. But it doesn't mean answer the chat as quickly as possible and get on to the next one. It's like, did we effectively hear that customer, appreciate what they're going through? Did they feel like they talked to somebody who cared? If the answer is yes, then we can move on to the next conversation.
So I was baiting you a little bit in the sense of I knew you were going to go down the simplicity route. When it came to the InsureShield offering, right, we like to think our process is pretty seamless and quick and simple in nature, right? Was there anything that stood out to you about the InsureShield product or any of the pieces of our offering that kind of fell in line with your vision of simplicity and a high level of customer experience?
Oh yeah, none of it was in Latin. I mean, like if you, when you go onto the InsureShield portal that you guys helped us build, it's very clear what you're supposed to do, and there's not really an option to do anything else. So you're not going to trap yourself in making the wrong click. You're not going to put the wrong information in the wrong field because it's super intuitive. It's like step-by-step guide. Other insurance platforms we looked at, I mean, you were sort of like, am I saying the wrong thing? Am I going to make this claim unmanageable because I don't know how to navigate it? We wanted to eliminate that, and InsureShield was a great partner in that and making sure that like if a customer needed to put in the information, they knew exactly where it was supposed to go. It was step-by-step. And then they said, oh, here's the next step after you've done file the claim. Here's when you're going to hear from us. Here's where you're going, like where physically you will see that message. We need it to be that intuitive so people can just be like, oh, peace of mind.
Yeah. I really appreciated that when we were going through the onboarding of this portal, right? Every member of your team, up to including the captain, was spending a copious amount of time going through every finite detail.
Yeah.
And, it made our product better, and we were happy to be able to deliver that to you. But what I would say, explain to us from your vantage point, the customized claims portal, and I'll pepper in subtle plug. I'd like to know, kind of have your explanation of what that portal is and what it's doing for you, and even into the branding of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing we do is we look at it and say, the average user, what are they going to break? And so we give it to my team who love breaking things. I've trained them very well with large hammers. They're going to really tear the product apart. And I said, find the problems and also find out what's not intuitive. Like I want it to be A plus B equals C. If it's more complicated then we don't want it. And then it was about branding, making sure that it was fun, that it was in the spirit of our company, that it made it not feel like such a slog. When a website comes off super legal, super official, people turn off. They don't want to be on that website. So we wanted to make sure that it had emojis, that it was like, hey, here's what you do next. And it was really that tone rather than, I need you to fill out this form and it must be done in triplicate. And if it came off that way, people are not going to want to file the claims to get the money they well deserve.
Yeah.
And so when we went through version 5, and I apologize for being a bully about all the copy, but we just wanted to make sure it met people where they're at, rather than a hypothetical customer that's super business savvy. That's not who we're serving. We're serving people who are building their small business for the first time. They didn't go to school. They didn't get a business degree. They're just trying to make sure that their thrift store that went into online sales during the pandemic is able to continue doing that. And what I need to mail a package to Japan. Why is somebody in Japan buying my product in my thrift store in Alabama? That's really complicated for that shipper.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and so we want to make sure that it's easy and intuitive. And if the package gets lost, is it an international claim different than a domestic one? Those are the questions our customers have, and we're happy to say, like, no, it's still the same process, and it's pretty easy.
No, that's awesome. What we did for Pirate Ship, and I'm preaching to the choir over here, I know you know this, we created a co-branded custom claims platform that allows your users to be able to file their shipments at ease. But the big piece of that, right, is the branding, right?
Yeah.
To your point, we wanted to make it look and feel like you're still with Pirate Ship throughout the entire journey.
Yes.
All the way down to the emojis and the pirate jargon, which we had quite a lot of fun with.
Good.
But with that, the claims portal itself, right? One thing we didn't touch on is, and I wanted to kind of speak through, was we created a first of its kind product for this partnership, and that was the uninsured claims filing through the same portal. What did that mean for your business?
When you're trying to file a carrier liability claim and there's 3 different pages you could possibly start your point of entry to, and then you're not sure exactly what your shipper number is and your tracking number, maybe it was used before, maybe it wasn't. Did you put in the right email? We really wanted to remove all of that. But we also wanted to say, hey, this is the first of its kind product, but we're also not done. So we're also looking forward to like the next version of the InsureShield portal where the product continues to adapt. We haven't just started the relationship and now we're done and this is the portal forever. We're going to get that feedback from customers and revisit and say, hey, what's realistic for the next version of the portal to make this as customer friendly as possible.
Oh, that's great. The demand for same day and next day shipping continues to rise.
Yeah.
Almost by 160, 170% year over year, right?
Yeah.
What different things, if any, right, are you guys doing to kind of meet that demand?
So the most important thing is that people know that they have the option to toggle between services. Rates are ever changing. UPS, USPS, Ascendia are constantly trying to make the best possible service option. And so we want to make sure with, next day shipping, 2-day air, that people are understanding the price point up front and also the delivery estimate. So the most important thing is like, if you buy this package by 10 a.m. today, by 6 p.m. today, when is it going to get there? And what can you tell your customer reliably? Making that as obvious on the website as we can is probably one of the most important things, because we have a good segment of customers that they just want to be able to give accurate timelines, because it does impact their eBay rating, their Etsy seller rating. If that ends up not being true, their customers are ruthless. If I didn't get my package when you said I was going to get it, I'm going to come back to you and let you know. And we want to make sure that they minimize that impact as much as possible. So when we think about really fast shipping, getting there as quickly as possible, we want to make sure that those estimates are as accurate as we can by getting good information from our partners.
Oh, awesome. What are your customers saying about InsureShield?
They are saying that it's easy, intuitive, and why weren't you doing this before? No, seriously. They've been asking for a portal for a while. We looked into doing it ourselves. It wasn't feasible. We wanted to find a vendor that was willing to collaborate on a process, but a lot of people had an end product that they were already happy with, that they didn't want to adapt for us for our specific customer needs. And so when we saw the InsureShield proposal and realized it was going to be super collaborative, they got very excited. But customers constantly have opinions, and they've made it clear to us that as they get used to a platform, they want it to adapt to them. So we take customer feedback very seriously, and we're looking every quarter on how we can make small changes to make that filing process easier. And we have a great partner in y'all, in that you're willing to have that conversation on a regular basis. So it's going to be small tweaks all the time. It's not going to be huge overhauls every year or things like that. It's going to be, how we add payments, what adding photos looks like. All those small changes give seconds back to our shippers, which means more time that they can invest in their business rather than being like in their business, like stuck in it.
Yeah.
So we want to give people that time back.
No, I love that. So as we go into the new year, what are some changes or enhancements or areas of opportunity with our partnership that you're hoping to explore?
We want song and dance for sure. We'd like a custom InsureShield pirate song. I think that would be great. But people want fun. Yeah. Like they don't need to be like assaulted with it. There should be consent, right? They should want to opt into it. But people don't want these products to be a slog. One of the things that makes me excited for my career at Pirate Ship and why I still work there is that when we talk about what we're offering, it's always from a very human place. We see research all the time that says people are lonely, they're lacking connection, that all these digital tools certainly enhance efficiency, that AI is going to revolutionize every industry everywhere, but people want human connections. We're social creatures.
Yep.
And so we want to make a product that feels collaborative, where if they have a question, it's easy for them to get in touch with us, that they can have a real conversation with a real person that says, I know exactly what you're going through. We have small business owners on our team that are Etsy sellers that have gone through the same things they're going through and can actually commiserate. Say, listen, look, I've been there. Let me tell you how I got through it. Those are the kind of conversations our pirates are having with customers, and it makes all the difference. So when I think about what I'm excited about, it's increasing that human element in the InsureShield, making sure that if they have a question about the InsureShield product or the coverage or why was it canceled, there's nothing a customer refuses to believe more than, that coverage didn't happen. Like, that claim was denied. I need to understand that denial. Is there an appeal process? Like, I want this reality to not be my reality. And while that can't always be the case, we want there to not be this sort of very cut and dry, I'm sorry, it was denied. Thank you, have a nice day. It needs to be like, okay, here's the reason it was denied. This specific policy piece, the products you're shipping aren't covered, and this is the reason. Do you have other product lines that we can cover? We need it to be a conversation, understanding that you need to protect yourself from the language that you use. But at the same time, we want there to be a point-to-point conversation where they feel, okay, I know what to do better next time. I don't just feel like I got shafted.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Since the partnership started, right, I have interacted with so many pirate ship merchants, and just like organically, it comes up more in conversation, things like that. And I have to tell you, I was at an end of the season party for my son's football team, and I was talking to one of the moms, and she's a marketer by trade, right? But she was talking about her small business. And I just asked her, I go, well, who do you use to ship those packages? Where do you ship those packages from? And she was like, Pirate Ship. And I go, Pirate Ship, huh? And I kind of explained to her the partnership. And she goes, are you InsureShield? She's like, I got my email 3 days ago about the InsureShield program. And it was funny. As soon as she said Pirate Ship and InsureShield, 4 other parents at the party were like, oh, I use that for my Etsy shop. Oh, I ship on eBay. I sell on eBay. I ship through Pirate Ship to fulfill my orders. And it was like bing, 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 bing. It's incredible the network of people who are using it. So we're getting down to the wire here, but
Sure.
I do want to continue to put you on the spot if that's okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay, so
I actually do have a question, though.
oh yeah, go please.
So one thing I'm really sad about is I don't get to see the evidence anymore. The insurance evidence.
Yep.
And we made a museum of
Did
really
you?
beautiful cursed dolls,
Really?
badly drawn portraits, art on napkins that was insured for way too much money. And they're treasures for us. They really they go in their digital chest, and we're like, those are gems. So I need to know, has your team said, I need you to look at this photo. I need you to look at what a customer sent us.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm sure it's coming.
Okay.
But we do see some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the weirdest thing?
So
And I mean, you mentioned some weird things.
I'm very sorry, Lexi, if you listen to this. I have to bring up long Furbies. Are you familiar with long Furbies?
No, I'm not.
You're familiar with Furby?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, Furby, cursed 90s toy.
Yep.
I had one. I visited my grandparents in Florida. I left it there. My grandmother didn't understand what it was, so she put it in the closet. And then it suffered that thing that those 90s toys did where the batteries began to drain.
Yep.
And then the voice got creepier.
Oh, nice.
And so she would be cleaning, would like get the vacuum, and she'll... and she genuinely thought there was a haunting.
Oh, that is amazing.
And it was my Furby that I left there in 1997 or whatever. So people, that beloved toy, decided to have a new life on Etsy where people would add more fur to it and create a long Furby that ended up looking like a snake with a Furby head. And it became very popular online. Now the world has been overtaken by Squishmallows, which I'm grateful for that.
Oh, trust me. I know.
But people were insuring their long Furbies because people were buying long Furbies at a decent price point, and so therefore they could prove value. And so we would get claims for lost, damaged long Furbies, and those were always really joyful conversations to have because the creations, the things people were thinking in their mind and putting to felt were really beautiful.
That is nuts, but really funny. Any SMB all the way up through a company like yours or similar or platform, why choose InsureShield?
If you resist the idea that insurance is not going to try to screw you over in some way, and you're just convinced that it's always going to be a problem, so you're not going to add insurance, you're missing out on a great product because we try to spell things out as simply as possible. What's covered, what's not covered, what's the conversation with InsureShield going to be like, what's filing going to be like. The tutorial is doing it because it's so simple to do. So when you do it once, when you do it twice, you're like, oh, I got this. Okay, I'm going to insure this product. I hope it doesn't get lost, but if it does, I now know that when I file, it's not going to take 3 weeks, 5 weeks. It's going to take a couple of days to get a response. They may have a question for me, upload some more evidence. That's fine. But I'm going to get resolution in a time that makes sense for my business. So when I'm doing my end of month calculations, I know exactly what my loss and gains were. And this is already over. I'm not going to have to wait till the next quarter to figure out whether or not that insurance claim is going to go through. So the ease of customer service, but just knowing up front, if I insure my product, is it covered? That's vital to our customers because the worst thing that can happen is like, okay, I spent $2, $3 insuring my package. oh, it's not covered. Why didn't I know that before I bought the insurance? That's super important to everybody who ships. And working with InsureShield, they've helped us make sure that is as clear as day. It's not covered in legalese. It's in plain language. So when they're like, are my AirPods covered? Is my grandma's jewelry covered? That's easy to find out on our website, on the InsureShield website, which means people can make informed choices about whether or not they want to insure their package.
Love that. Love that. I'm feeling a little left out. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm feeling a little jealous.
You want a name, don't you?
I want a name.
Okay, Nick. We've got.
Keep in mind, growing the beard out. It's not a black beard, and that's already taken. It's a little gray. It's peppered in there. I don't want to influence your decision.
I'm channeling your spirit right now.
Okay. All right. Dishing it out.
Yep.
Dishing it out.
I'm going to go with Captain Nick Parlay, because parlay means to communicate, and this has been a joyful conversation.
I appreciate it as well.
Yeah.
And Kyle, thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
It's a real pleasure. Every interaction with you and the team has been wonderful. This is right on par with that. And I appreciate the time. I appreciate the partnership. Thank you to you and your pirate ship team. We're excited about the new year. We're excited about everything that InsureShield can bring to you and that pirate ship can bring to us. So enjoy the rest of the NRF show.
Thank you so much.
And safe travels home. And we'll see you next time. Smooth sailing.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.